Hello, my name is Dr. Libby. I am primary therapist at Alternative to Med Center in Sedona, Arizona. Thank you so much for submitting some questions for me to answer. And one of the questions that our viewers ask is about equine therapy. And that is something that I love to answer and love to talk about. So I will be taking some time today to answer some of your questions. What is equine therapy? Equine therapy is assisted therapy with horses, and that's the best way to really explain it. And so the horses become the therapist. One of the questions I often get is, oh, well, how do you train your horses to be therapists? And there is no training with horses. Horses have an extraordinary innate ability to sense emotions, and they will mirror us. And just by that mirroring what we're feeling, even what we're thinking, it shows us things about ourselves that we wouldn't maybe normally see. Horses bring a sense of mindfulness. Being with a horse is something that takes us completely away from anxiety, depression, our trauma, the things that haunt us. An example might be that I worked with a colleague once, and she had a client. For 3 years, she couldn't get this client to tell her anything. And so I said, well, why don't you bring her out for equine therapy and let's see what happens? And so within 15 minutes, all this client was doing was brushing one of my horses, and she talked for an hour. And my colleague looked at me and just was shaking her head like, what? What just happened? And so there's something about being with a horse that really allows us to feel safe and trusting and open. So that's just one example of the mindfulness aspect of equine therapy. I can give so many examples of the benefits. The benefits to clients are that they see things in themselves that maybe people have pointed out before, but when a horse points it out, it's kind of blaring. It's right there. It's very obvious. Another example, and I'll use quite a few examples. If a client comes on the property with anxiety, oftentimes my horses will run to the very far corner of the pasture. And so I'll say to the client or clients, what does this tell you? And they automatically pick up. Our clients pick up. They're very smart people. And they say, oh, I guess my energy's off, or the horses don't want to work with me. And I'll say, yeah, so maybe let's take a few minutes to be mindful and to clear that energy and see what happens. And sure enough, after we do that, the horses will slowly start approaching the clients and be able to interact. I'll get back to the question about, do we train horses to do this work? No, we don't. Horses, they really are intuitive animals. And so that's really what makes them such a great therapist. And our clients are more inclined to listen to what a horse says to them or is showing them or telling them in some ways than they are the people in their lives. So there's a benefit there to just having that wall of kind of resistance come down. My horses are all rescue horses, and I think that in and of itself does add to the component of these horses are very gentle. My horses are very loving. I have a horse that licks and hugs, and I have another one that is very playful. I have one that is a mini horse that just came on property, and she plays. She and the clients, our clients, they chase each other, they run, they almost play tag. And so it's each horse is different, and the clients that choose each horse is choosing a horse based on where they feel in the moment. I'll say, how are you feeling? Well, I feel anxious. Okay, well then maybe work with Hank, who is playful, and get some playful energy out, for example. I try to pair clients with a horse's personality in a way that I think will best serve them. But often clients want to choose another horse, which is fine too. That horse has a message to give them as well. Our clients always love coming out. They say how much they enjoyed the time, and usually each session is about 3 hours, so there's a time to talk about safety and the animals, and then at the very end I'll give the animal stories, which is pretty impactful because the animals I have on my property are all rescues and they've all been severely abused. That's often very interesting too, as our clients that have been the most abused will often choose just serendipitously the horse that has also been severely abused. It's an amazing therapy. I would recommend it to anyone. I'm so grateful that at ATMC I'm able to offer this form of therapy. If you have any questions or would like to learn more about equine assisted therapy or just alternative to meds in general, please reach out at alternativetomedcenter.com or call our 800 number, and someone there will be more than happy to answer your questions.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. For information about Alternative to Med Center, give us a call at 888-984-9667.